you don't subscribe to my son's YouTube channel.
Mama, no!
Just snap the damn ball, RJ.
And welcome back to the Sports Fix. Dave Sittler running us alone today. Patrick Mason's on assignment. Patrick will be doing his Thunder Live show tonight, though. Tune in for that. And this is the time every Tuesday we go to our man, R.J. Young, OU Insider, OUinsider.com. R.J., before we get into the OU stuff, how's your bracket looking?
What bracket?
You didn't do one?
No, I don't want to speak of this. What bracket? Busted like everybody else's, man.
You didn't get any teams into the Final Four?
I believe I had North Carolina, Duke, Tennessee, and like Va Tech or something like that. I don't know. It was something weird, but no, I didn't get any teams into the Final Four.
All right. Moving on back to OU. I know the OU Insider has some video on Tanner Mordecai. What are your thoughts about him? Do you think there could really be a race between him and Hurts?
Any more than I could be a Hall of Fame sports writer like you, Dave. I mean, it's possible, but it ain't very likely. You know what I mean? It's just, I think his mindset is the right one, though. If something happens to Jalen Hurts, right, knock on wood, you want to have a capable guy to take the reins and be able to compete with this team and potentially lead them to a college football playoff. And I think that's what you got in Tanner Mordecai. You have a capable backup to the guy that you know is going to be your starter, and you have Spencer Rattler back there redshirting, and perhaps you feel good about Tanner Schaefer if you're Lincoln Riley, but you don't necessarily want to get to there because then you might be forced to put, say, Spencer in that role if something happened to Jalen or Tanner. But I think today it's going well. I think the dude spoke well of himself. I think he has the right mindset. I think that he knows the playbook. I think it's going to be fine.
And do you remember back when Mordecai was recruited, who were some of the others after him? Was he highly recruited?
Cameron Rising ended up committing to Texas, and then Tanner Mordecai ended up falling in that June. But you might have traded up, honestly, and not known it, because Mordecai was a 4,000-yard passer and 1,100-yard rusher as a senior at Waco Midway and led them to a state title game. I mean, the dude he can not only spin it, he knows how to win. And you can see his demeanor, right? His demeanor is what I am used to from a quarterback standpoint. Just real even keel. All the questions that were asked of him, he took them in stride. He laughed a few times, but for the most part, it was like hearing Landry Jones talk, who didn't have a whole lot to say, but who some people still believe is one of the best OU quarterbacks of all time.
Talking with R.J. Young, OU Insider, OUinsider.com. Has his own show here on the Sports Animal on Sundays. Fight Me. Check in that. What time's that start, R.J.?
10 a.m. Take you to
10
church.
a.m. You going to have any guests on this Sunday?
Not that I want to reveal right now, no.
Very good. We'll let you reveal it later. I don't know if you were there or if you were able to listen to Jalen Hurts' first press conference, but I'm sure you read about it. What are some of your thoughts in his approach, the way he's going into it this spring?
He's got a lot of Alabama in him, and by that I mean he's not really interested in telling you stories. He's not really interested in talking about how he came to Oklahoma. He's just interested in winning. And if you're a fan of the team, that's great. That's fine. In the way that Baker Mayfield kind of spoiled everybody with his quotes and his willingness to put himself out there and to be the character that he is, you saw less of that from Kyler Murray. I don't think you're going to see any of that from Jalen Hurts. I mean, we all want to know what the conversations were like between Miami, Maryland, and Oklahoma, and why he ended up picking Oklahoma. We all know why, but it would still be nice to know, and he just was like, nah, I'm not really into that. Right now, I just want to win a championship.
And, you know, we've talked a little bit about this before, but with Humphrey being the only guy coming back on the line, give us some names of guys you think could, I'm not saying play to the level of the guys they just lost, but would be quality Big 12 starters.
I mean, quality Big 12 starter was Kansas a quality Big? Like, it just, that one's all over the map. I'll tell you who I think is going to start at Oklahoma. Brey Walker has got a really good opportunity to win one of those tackle positions, particularly at left tackle. I think you're going to see Adrian Ely start to come on. You know R.J. Proctor is coming in over the summer. I expect that dude to compete and possibly win a guard position next to Creed Humphrey, probably at left guard where he played at Virginia. And then the right guard position, feels like a Tyrese Robinson situation. Now, there's some guys that could step up like Marquise Hayes, and you have a few other names like Daryl Simpson, and, of course, the JUCO guys, David Swaby, Finley Felix, and whatnot. But I think the real competition is going to be at those tackle positions where you just see a lot of upside, especially when I'm talking about, again, Brey Walker. This is a dude I went down to interview him at Westmore as a signing day. I'm short, I get that, but I needed a chair to get up next to him to try to put a camera in his face, and I was still holding it up at his face. You know, now that's giving me 2-3 feet in a chair, and I'm 5'5", and I was barely able to put the camera in his face. Just a big, overgrown cat with great feet and outstanding hands.
It sounds like these young receivers that have come in are adapting pretty well. Is that what you're hearing?
I mean, I hope so. You're coming into one of the most prolific offenses, not just in college football, but in history. And you have opportunities. Like Lincoln kind of alluded to this at the spring presser where he says we're a little thin at receiver. And what you're talking about is you got maybe an abundance of X's, right, which is the CeeDee Lamb position. So you could see Theo Weiss or Jaden Hazelwood coming in over there. But on the other side, that Z is your speedster, your Charleston Rambo. Then who? Trajan Bridges, he's probably going to play that H, that slot receiver position. And then you're talking about perhaps Michael Jones, right? People forget that Jalen Robinson was looking to transfer. A.D. Miller came back to help you out a bit, but I would expect them to kind of ingratiate themselves early. Now, the wild card here is Austin Stogner, because that tight end position all of a sudden looks really, really stout with Lee Morris, Grant Calcaterra, and then Stogner. And if all three of those guys are playing to their potential, you might be seeing a lot more big sets from Lincoln Riley, particularly with Jalen Hurts, because the way that a lot of folks think that this could go, and I kind of agree with this, is if you used him like Gus Malzahn used Cam Newton, you probably are getting closer to what Jalen Hurts is really good at, which is forcing people to take care of his feet and take away his ability to run so that he can get those one-on-one matchups with bigger receivers in the slot, tight end types.
All right, RJ, excellent. We appreciate it. And maybe on Thursday you'll reveal maybe who your guests will be on Sunday.
We'll see. Right now I'm just going to try to make it to lunch on Tuesday, Dave. I appreciate you.
Thank you, RJ. RJ Young, OU Insider, OUinsider.com.